Good evening and welcome to the September meeting of the Committee of Adjustments. Before we begin, I will ask Mr. Oath to read the territorial acknowledgement.
We have gathered in Wilmot Township on the traditional territory of the Neutral, the Anishinaabe, and the Haudenosaunee and the Mississauga peoples. We also want to acknowledge the importance of the Dish with the One Spoon Covenant, a peace agreement made between the Indigenous nations before the Europeans arrived. It characterizes our collective responsibility to each other and to Mother Earth. We should take only what we need, leave enough for others, and keep the dish clean. By acknowledging this covenant and the First Nations, the Métis, and the Inuit peoples, we are reminded of our important connection to this land, where we live, learn, and work together as a community.
Thank you. I'd like to begin this evening by introducing our committee. To my right is Mr. Steve Miller, Ms. Christine Kohler, and Mr. Wayne Roth. As well with us this evening is Mr. Cameron Miller, our planner for the Township. And I am Tyler Bowman, chair of this committee. We are an independent body appointed by Wilmot Township Council. We have the power to make minor changes to existing zoning regulations and to approve some changes to existing non-conforming uses and to give consent. Each applicant will be notified in writing within 10 days. Will be notified in writing of the decision within 10 days, and with the decision will be instructions on how it can be appealed. Any decision made by this committee can be appealed to the Ontario Land Tribunal, who will then hold a meeting and make a final decision. Only the applicant and certain prescribed public agencies can appeal the committee's decision. If the decision on a minor variance is not appealed, it becomes final and binding after 20 days from the date of this meeting. If the decision on a consent is not appealed, it becomes final and binding after 20 days from the date the decision is mailed. This evening, the format will be as follows. Mr. Miller will introduce the application. The applicant will then be invited to come forward and add any additional information if they choose. Following this, anyone in the audience will have the opportunity to speak for or against the application. And the committee members may then question the applicant, and the committee will then make a decision. So starting, are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act? Seeing none, at this time I'll ask Mr. Miller to introduce our application.
Yes, thank you very much. There's two applications this evening that are related in nature, so I'll introduce them collectively just in the interest of not repeating myself too much. So the first application is minor variance A15/24, which is relating to 3912 Sandhills Road, and then consent application B1124, which is relating to 2540 Wilby Road. So the minor variance application, A1524, is proposing to increase the maximum allowable area of all accessory buildings from 75% of the lot coverage of the main building to approximately 120%, and to also reduce the exterior side yard and rear yard setback requirements from 10 meters and 7.5 meters respectively to approximately 4 meters and 2 meters. While the consent application B1124 seeks to sever approximately 0.04 hectares from 2440 Wilby Road as a lot addition to 3912 Sandhills Road. So again, collectively, the purpose of these applications tonight is essentially to recognize the location of an addition to an already existing building that is under construction. In June of this year, Township building staff discovered that an addition to a building was being constructed without a building permit. And upon further investigation, a surveyor was engaged and determined that this addition was in fact over the property line. As shown in some pictures and also the sketch which was attached to the report, the area between the building and the farm fence has historically been understood to be part of 3912 Sandhills Road. It was also the understanding of the applicant that the property line ended at the farm fence. which again is shown in the pictures and on the sketch. However, in fact, at the largest point, as determined through a surveyor, there is approximately 6 meters from what the actual property line and the land that belongs to 2440 Wilby Road. So this lot addition in particular is simply seeking to follow the line of the farm fence and provide those lands to 3912 Sand Hills Road and the lands that have been historically used as part of that property. In circulating to the Regional Waterloo, they did not have any objections to the lot addition, nor did they to the minor variance. Staff did not receive any concerns in circulating both applications and are recommending that both applications be approved tonight.
Thank you. So we're going to manage these separately in terms of our, we'll work through the minor variance first, and then we'll work through the consent item. So looking at application A1524, do we know if actually the applicant's interested? No? Is there anyone else registered? No? So are there any questions for the township on the minor variance? Seeing none, can I get a motion from the committee to approve application A1524? Moved by Ms. Kohler, seconded by Mr. Roth. All in favor? Seeing that is passed. We will just move right into application B1124, which is our consent application. I assume no one's interested in speaking, so can I get a motion to move or approve that? Mr. Miller, seconded by Ms. Kohler. All in favor? And that is carried as well. Last order of business then tonight will be approving the minutes from our August committee meeting. Can I get a motion to approve those? Ms. Kohler, seconded by Mr. Miller. All in favor? And that is carried as well. So that concludes our meeting tonight. Thank you for attending.